Today, we're exploring Zero Trust Architecture, or ZTA, and why it's rapidly replacing the traditional castle and moat security model. Dr. Mason, can you explain what spurred this dramatic shift in enterprise cybersecurity strategy?
Absolutely. As organizations embraced cloud computing, remote work, and mobile devices, attackers found new ways to bypass perimeter defenses. In essence, companies realized that threats could just as easily come from within as from outside. ZTA emerged to counteract these modern risks by ensuring trust is never assumed, regardless of network location.
That makes sense, especially given the rise in insider threats. How does ZTA differ in its basic philosophy compared to perimeter-based models?
Perimeter models trust devices and users inside the network by default, but Zero Trust treats every access request as potentially hostile. It's like a bank that checks every employee's credentials at every door, not just at the entrance, ensuring every action is continuously verified.
Let's dig into the core principles. When organizations talk about Zero Trust, what are the foundational concepts they're referring to?
Zero Trust rests on three pillars: verify explicitly, enforce least privilege access, and assume breach. This means every user or device must prove their identity and necessity for access, and systems are designed with the expectation that breaches can occur at any time.
How are these principles translated into real-world controls or technologies?
Practically, it's implemented through multi-factor authentication, continuous monitoring, and microsegmentation. For example, microsegmentation divides networks into isolated zones, limiting how far an attacker can move if they gain access.
We often hear claims about ZTA improving security. Are there measurable results showing its effectiveness?
Yes, and the numbers are compelling. A Global Security Digital Council study found that organizations adopting ZTA had a 30% reduction in security incidents. This is mainly because Zero Trust strategies minimize the attack surface and restrict unauthorized lateral movement within networks.
That's significant. Could you share a real-world scenario where Zero Trust made a difference?
Certainly. Consider a healthcare provider that implemented ZTA after a ransomware scare. By enforcing least privilege access and continuous monitoring, they halted suspicious activity before critical systems were compromised, preventing data loss and costly downtime.
Many industries are heavily regulated. How does Zero Trust architecture help organizations meet compliance requirements like GDPR or HIPAA?
ZTA's detailed access controls and logging capabilities provide clear audit trails and enforce strict data access boundaries. This aligns perfectly with regulations requiring secure data handling and transparency. In fact, ENISA reported that 60% of organizations see regulatory compliance as a main driver for Zero Trust adoption.
Does this mean Zero Trust can simplify audits for organizations?
Absolutely. Auditors benefit from granular logs showing who accessed what and when, which streamlines proving compliance and can even reduce the time and cost spent on regulatory audits.
With the explosion of AI and machine learning, how are these technologies enhancing Zero Trust strategies?
AI-driven systems analyze vast quantities of data in real time, detecting subtle anomalies that human analysts might miss. For example, AI can flag unusual login patterns or data access behaviors instantly, enabling rapid response to threats. Horizon Markets predicts a 25% annual growth in AI-driven security solutions.
Could you use an analogy to help listeners grasp this integration?
Picture AI as a digital security dog that never sleeps, sniffing out suspicious behavior across the network 24/7 and alerting humans only when it detects something truly unusual.
Transitioning to Zero Trust isn't always straightforward, especially with older systems in place. What are the main challenges organizations face around legacy technology?
Legacy systems were built for open trust environments and often lack interfaces needed for modern verification and segmentation. Retrofitting these systems can be costly or even technically impossible, leading to patchwork security where some areas remain vulnerable.
Are there strategies for minimizing these risks during a Zero Trust rollout?
Organizations might isolate legacy assets in secure network segments or use virtual patching solutions, but ultimately, a phased upgrade or replacement is often necessary for full Zero Trust coverage.
Cost is a major consideration, particularly for smaller enterprises. What factors contribute most to the high upfront investment in Zero Trust?
Expenses stem from upgrading infrastructure, acquiring new security tools, and training staff on new protocols. SMEs often lack the capital and expertise for such extensive overhauls. Coherent market insights flags these financial and resource constraints as the top barriers to adoption.
Is there evidence that the long-term benefits outweigh initial costs?
Absolutely. While initial investments are steep, organizations often see reduced incident recovery costs and increased operational efficiency, which can offset the upfront expenses over time.
Technology aside, people are at the heart of every security transformation. What human factors slow down Zero Trust implementation?
Resistance to change is a key issue. Employees may view new authentication steps as cumbersome, and leaders might worry about productivity drops. Poor change management is a major reason Questlab found it accounts for 64% of failed Zero Trust projects.
How can organizations address these cultural hurdles?
Effective training, clear communication, and involving stakeholders early can ease transitions. Additionally, designing user-friendly security processes helps minimize friction and boosts adoption rates.
Looking ahead, how is Zero Trust evolving to address future threats and technologies like quantum computing, 5G, 6G, or blockchain?
Research is underway on quantum-safe cryptography to counter future quantum attacks. The integration with 5G, 6G enables granular, dynamic access control in hyper-connected environments, while blockchain can provide decentralized, tamper-proof identity verification. The National Science Foundation has invested $32 million in advancing these areas this year.
Could you offer a hypothetical scenario demonstrating these advancements?
Imagine a hospital where every device, from MRI machines to tablets, verifies its identity via blockchain and communicates securely over a quantum-resistant 6G network, creating a resilient, zero-trust environment against both current and emerging threats.
A frequent criticism of Zero Trust is that it impacts productivity. How are organizations balancing rigorous security with a seamless user experience?
Modern ZTA solutions emphasize frictionless authentication, such as passwordless logins or adaptive access based on user behavior. Organizations that optimize for usability report not only smoother adoption, but also a 23% productivity boost, according to Questlab.
So, future ZTA deployments will likely focus as much on user satisfaction as on security?
Precisely. The goal is for security to become nearly invisible, working in the background to protect assets without disrupting legitimate user activity.
As our discussion wraps up, where do you see Zero Trust fitting within the broader cybersecurity landscape over the next decade?
Zero Trust is becoming the default framework for digital resilience. As threats grow more sophisticated and environments more complex, only ZTA's relentless verification and adaptive controls can provide the agility organizations need to thrive.
For listeners considering ZTA, what should be their first step?
Start by assessing current security gaps, prioritizing critical assets, and building a phased roadmap. It's less about a one-time overhaul and more about a continuous journey toward proactive, adaptive security.